Mysterious map and time travel. Once upon a time, there were two brothers named Uraz and Doruk. They both loved adventurous stories. Every night, they listened to tales from their grandfather Mehmet. While Grandpa Mehmet was reading stories from the books he kept in the old wooden chest in his room, the children would be completely immersed in these magical narratives. One night, Grandpa Mehmet pulled out an old map from the chest. The map was drawn on a piece of paper that had yellowed over time, and it had strange symbols on it. "This is a map that shows a world that opens up only to brave adventurers," said Grandpa Mehmet. The children's eyes widened. "How so?" asked Uraz. Grandpa Mehmet smiled and said, "You need to combine your imagination with the courage in your heart to understand the map and find the right route. Now close your eyes," he said. Chapter 1. The map comes to life. When Uraz and Doruk closed their eyes, everything in the room changed. Suddenly, the map began to glow before his eyes. It was as if small lights were shooting out of the drawings. When the children opened their eyes, they found themselves under a star-studded sky. Grandpa Mehmet was not with them. They were just holding the map. The map showed them a direction. The children excitedly decided to follow the map. The journey was on a path that began under the stars. Around them were palaces shining in the clouds and paths of stones glittering on the ground. But during their journey, the map suddenly changed, and an inscription appeared: "You cannot go forward without unraveling the secrets of the past." Chapter 2. Depths of the forest. Following the map, the children found themselves in an enchanted forest. The trees of the forest rose towards the sky, and the light filtering through their leaves illuminated the surroundings. However, as we made our way through the forest, a group of talking birds landed in the middle of the road. "To get through here, you have to solve our riddles," said one of the birds. Uraz solved the first riddle. What is it that existed in the past that never disappeared in the future? His answer was time. Climax faced the second riddle. What is it that everyone has but no one can bring back? The answer was the past. Having answered the riddles correctly, the brothers continued to move through the forest and found a glowing portal deep in the forest. Chapter 3. Journey to the past. When they passed through the portal, they found themselves in an ancient town. There were old buildings, stone roads, and people in traditional clothes around. But a large clock tower in the center of town was ticking non-stop, and there seemed to be a problem. The townspeople said, "If our clock stops, time doesn't flow. The whole world stands still," he said. Uraz and Doruk, entering the tower, saw a huge mechanism. They had to fix a gear that was preventing the clock from running. Doruk tried to solve the mechanism with the information his grandfather had taught him, while Uraz used force to snap the gears into place. Working together, they were able to get the clock running again, and the townspeople thanked them. But as I was leaving the tower, the map flashed again, showing the next stop. Chapter 4. City of the Future. Following the light of the map, the brothers found themselves in a completely different place. This time, they had traveled to a future with flying vehicles, shiny hologram signs, and robots among the skyscrapers. There were mechanical butterflies flying around them and metal dogs walking. Uraz and Doruk excitedly began to explore this modern world. However, things were not going well here. The energy supply at the heart of the future city had been disrupted, and the city was about to be plunged into darkness. The brothers came together to repair the energy source. Doruk collaborated with one of the robots in the city of the future to restore the flow of energy. Uraz, on the other hand, made a dangerous climb to collect the energy crystals lost in the city. Chapter 5. Where time gets knotted. Uraz and Doruk found themselves inside a large clock tunnel while following the next instruction of the map. This tunnel was a magical passage connecting the beginning and the end of time. However, it was not going to be easy to get through here. The guardian of the tunnel was a gigantic time dragon. "You need to show pure courage in your heart and the right timing to get through here," the dragon said. The dragon presented the children with a clock-shaped puzzle. This puzzle required making the right decisions about the past, present, and future. Working together, the brothers solved the puzzle, using both their logic and their courage. The dragon opened the tunnel door, saying, "You have proven that you are true explorers." Chapter 6. Homecoming and a new beginning. At the end of the tunnel, Uraz and Doruk found themselves in their grandfather's room again. The chest was still opened, and Grandpa Mehmet was sitting with a book in his hands. However, the children still vividly felt the adventures they had experienced. When they made eye contact, they smiled at each other. The map was back in the chest, but that didn't mean the adventures in their minds were over. Grandpa Mehmet said, "Your eyes are shining. I think you've come up with your own story," he said knowingly. Uraz and Doruk hugged their grandfather. After that night, each tale opened a new door for them. Because now they knew, with imagination and courage, no adventure was impossible.